Good morning.
Hey, hello everyone.
Afternoon.
We're back for
Red
the Red
Couch
Couch
Conversations.
Conversations.
We're so in sync.
Oh my gosh. My name is Melissa,
And I'm Gregory.
and we are Rise Conscious Fitness. And what do?
We empower people to live their best life.
Yes, through moving better through life, improving their nutrition, and build their mindset. So this is pretty much what we do in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, no poofas.
And it's more than personal training. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great topic. So we want to talk about why what we do is more than personal training. And as a matter of fact, we don't like to use this word anymore because, of course, people relate it to what they know and their experiences with personal training. And, we do use components of it because that's our background and that's how we started in this process. But we have gone way beyond the old model of just personal training, one-on-one training people. And we want to talk about that today. And we want to talk about why and what's the problem with the old model and why we're doing things a little different and what are the pros and cons of both systems.
You know what they say?
Hey. What do they say?
Out with the old, in with the new.
Awesome. All right. So first of all, we wanted to talk about what's the problem with the old model with just personal training. And of course, we want to, a disclaimer right here, we are totally aware because we know amazing people out in the world in the same field of health and fitness doing amazing work with people. We're not here to criticize what people are doing or anything like this. We want to talk about more in a general way what the model of personal training, not everyone is doing the same thing. So some people are really stepping out of that model and improving their practice and doing way more than personal training. But we want to, just make sure that you guys understand that it's not like everyone and, a lot of people are doing amazing things with that.
Yeah, I think from a mainstream perspective, people, they associate their health or their training with what they see on the mainstream, which is a very dysfunctional relationship and defeating almost mentality to training and food and life for your health. So we're here to kind of throw some fuel in the fire to show you how we can improve upon this.
Yeah, and then the idea of all this is for you guys to give you new hopes about what personal training could become or your health and fitness journey, and that it doesn't have to be the same old kind of destructive, negative type of approach that personal training can be at times, and not with everyone again. So just wanted to say that disclaimer before we go on. All right, so first of all, let's talk about this little concept that I think we just really need to clarify from the get-go. And this is a misconception. There's a lot of misconception out there. Morning, Jen. Weight gain is not an exercise deficiency. So the reason why we want to talk about this is that yes, we know there's a lot of sedentary people out there, but we have seen through our practice and working with people and lots of people that a lot of people that come to us are already exercising. And it is not just a problem with not moving enough, because a lot of people are actually exercising too much, and it's extremely catabolic and stressful for their bodies. So it's really kind of finding this balance. So what we're trying to cover first, the first point we want to talk about and the problem with the old model of just one-on-one personal training is that it is really based on exercise only. Want to talk about this a little bit more? What's the problem with this?
I think because people don't normally hear that, so when they hear it said like that, it kind of opens up their eyes and their mind to something, to the possibilities of it's not this way. Maybe there is a different way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the problem with just exercise only? Well, we just said it. Well, because a lot of people come to us or come to a personal trainer because they want to lose weight, right? That's the number one reason. There's other reasons. We see a lot of people that come to us because they have lack of energy. They don't feel good about their bodies. They want to feel stronger. They want to get out of pain. There's hundreds of different reasons why people come to a personal trainer. But exercise is not the only answer. And a lot of times, unfortunately, people think they need more exercise, and it's actually not what they need the most, or at least not at first.
I think on the surface, a lot of people, they say that they need, to exercise to get healthier. You know.
Well, it's a mentality, it's a belief out there, right? So we want to talk about that. And then we are pro-exercise. We love movement. We want you to move as much as possible through life. in all the ways possible, because it's good for your brain, it's good for your body. Especially if you want to have an amazing, body composition, you want to look good, you want to feel great, you want to be stronger. Obviously, exercise is amazing. And we are humans designed to move. So we need to move, and movement is life. But a lot of people that come to us are already so hypometabolic. They're under so much stress. They're dealing with so many health issues. And exercise is a stressor in itself. So you add stress to your stress bucket that's already full, and it can cause even more problems, deficiency, and it can actually harm you. So we're not trying to scare you here, but we just want to point out that exercise only is not always the answer. Or at least it's not always the first thing we should work on. So that's the number one problem with the personal training model, the classic model of just, I'm going to sign up with a trainer 1, 2, 3 times a week. Sometimes people go 4, 5 times a week, and they just kind of like focus on, let me do more exercise and I'll get healthier. And let me just plug that in here. Fit does not equal healthy. Let's let that sink in a little bit.
All right. Let that ingeminate.
Fit, right? Fit does not always equal getting healthier. I think a lot of people out there think, or, sometimes we don't realize we have those beliefs, right? Because we'll see someone who looks really fit, has a really nice, fit body, abs and everything, and we automatically go, oh, this person is super healthy. One doesn't mean the other. I think that's a big kind of like...
Why do you think people have this
Well, I mean, the whole health and fitness industry has been designed to, and it's okay because to make people believe those things, but it's not necessarily that something wrong or bad, but it's like things are evolving. Science is evolving. We're learning new things. Now with the whole new brain-based information that we have about movement, there's so many like old concepts that are not true anymore. They don't always like, things evolve and change. We learn new things. So the problem with this is, we've seen so many people dealing with health issues and they look fit, and working out really hard and building your body or changing your body composition does not always mean that you're getting healthier. And as a matter of fact, we've seen a lot of fit people dealing with health issues. So one doesn't equal the other. I just wanted to clarify that.
Do you mean to tell me that an NFL wide receiver is not healthy?
A lot of times, especially athletes like that do this for a living, they're not actually in their best health state. The reason why is because they push their bodies so much, because their bodies is their tools, is what they use for their work, for their career, and a lot of times it just pushes their bodies in really extreme situations that really don't necessarily allow for optimal health. And when we talk about optimal health, what we really mean is that there are objective ways to assess how your health is. How's your metabolic rate? What's your body temperature and pulse in the morning when you're waking up? This is your first signs of, the first indicator of what your metabolic rate looks like. Other things, symptoms and things we talk about is like, are you dealing with any kind of sleep issues? How's your energy levels? How's your sex drive? How's your skin, your hair, your nails? How's your digestion? Are you dealing with any kind of digestive issues? Do you have allergies? Do you have pain? Are you dealing with, what else?
Are you pooping?
Are you pooping every single day, 1 to 3 times a day?
1 to 2 times a week.
Oh my gosh. So, there are so many things out there, like people say, oh, I'm pretty healthy, but I have this. And it's like, okay.
Let me just exercise.
Right? So I guess the idea of being healthy is also misunderstood, right? So it also means different things to different people, which is totally fine because it encompasses happiness, and different things make people happy, and different ways of moving and different ways of eating and all of that. So we also have to consider the individual's needs and likes. But I think like people don't put things together, right? They forget that, hey, I'm super fit, I have abs, but I can't sleep through the night, and I have PMS, and I feel like shit, and I'm always like angry. My mood is terrible. But I'm healthy because I have abs, right? So let's get out of that like mentality, because it's really not serving us. While we're not against the whole idea of like having fit bodies, we love it, but if you can do it in a healthy way, I think it's so much better. And you can. And that's the idea of this.
When I brought up about the health and fitness industry, about how that perspective of the exercise and waking, but also it's not just in the fitness industry, but in the health. So like doctors, if you go to a doctor, they don't really ask you what's going on. They just kind of see symptom, and then they'll recommend, you know, a weight loss approach. So like exercise, or
you need to lose weight,
drink a lot of water, or, you know, reduce your calories or restrict carbohydrates, and that's coming from a whole, you know, not a health perspective, but let's lose weight to get healthy.
Yeah, and then this is another huge belief or block that we see in our practice. It's like losing weight, just like being fit, does not equal health. And this is something we'll cover because that's the whole topic by itself, because people think that dropping weight on the scale, you're getting healthier. While you are, or you may be losing weight, it doesn't always equal that. So it has to be done in a healthy way. It's very easy to lose weight in a million different ways. You can really harm yourself by trying to lose weight in the wrong ways.
This is one of the reasons why people have kind of that mentality of belief, because they're trusting this professional, you know, who, I mean, I'm not saying don't trust doctors, but if you don't have any knowledge, you know, knowledge or awareness that whatever they say isn't always, you know.
Yeah, it's like getting perspectives from different people, and also listening to yourself. What does this feel right? Losing weight, it is true that having extra weight on is a symptom. It's also, but it's another symptom, just like having headaches or not sleeping through the night. It's not the problem. You know, the extra weight on is a symptom. So losing weight is not necessarily going to make you healthier, but there are correlations in research that are saying that if you have extra weight on, you're more at risks of blah, 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 blah. And that's why doctors will say you need to lose weight, because they equal a lighter weight with less health issues. But let's just be clear here. The weight that you have on that you might want to lose, if that's the case, is just another symptom. Okay, so let's talk about that. So that is why, number one, exercise only is not the answer.
Yes.
And it's one of the problem of the old model of personal training. So the other thing that we see a lot is that people will go to train with someone, and we've done it because we're coming from that world, and what we're sharing with you today are the things that we've done. I mean, we've learned, we've gone through the system, we've tried it, we have seen through our own experience working with mentors and other coaches and learning more and continuing learning what works and what doesn't work, right? And to help someone once a week, they're coming to you for a session or 2 sessions, and then they go home and nothing else happened. The whole concept of like, you know, I just got my session in and that's it, you know, is not enough. It doesn't work. You can't just expect to go to the gym 1, 2, or just 3 times a week for a half hour to an hour and go home and not change anything else, and expect for things to change. Yes, you will see some differences because you're doing something different. Most likely in the very early beginning, and at some point you'll hit a plateau, because if you don't change the way you live, the way you eat, the way you sleep, your stressors, everything, you can only do so much with exercise, basically.
Yeah, it's like going to college and studying whatever major, and you're going to class, but then when you leave class,
you don't study.
Yeah, you don't go home and study. You don't go to the library. You're just whatever you do in class. That's it. How far do you think you're gonna?
Like, how much are you gonna retain, really?
Yeah.
You know, so the implementation and also, like, you know, does it impact the rest of your life? How do you apply it, and are you really changing your habits? Now, it is true that we have seen at times it is very helpful for people to start there. So here, to take a little bit of pressure off of you, if you are feeling overwhelmed by this whole health and fitness journey, you've been wanting to join and do something about it, and you don't know where to start, maybe starting by going to the gym 1, 2, or 3 times a week is a good place to start for you, just to actually showing up, right? It's a good place to start. But in the long term, you want to start adding different things. You want to start working on your nutrition, you know, your sleep, your stress levels, everything else. Okay, so just exercise or just going to the gym. And that's another problem, because as trainers, you know, this is what we're taught, you know, and a lot of what we're talking, again, this is what we learned, and now we learned that it doesn't work. You know, you work with someone one-on-one, then they go home and then nothing else happens. There's no guidance outside the gym. They don't know, like, what to do, what to eat. Should I stretch? Should I not stretch? What should I do? I'm sore. You know, so this guidance that needs to happen ongoing and outside, you know, the hours that you spend with your trainer needs to happen. Otherwise, there's like, well, how many hours? 168 hours in a week. So if you spend 2 of those hours with your trainer, it's a very small impact, right? What?
Did you have that in the holster?
I just have this in my
Oh,
head.
yeah.
I did the math so quickly.
That was like 2 seconds.
All right, cool. Here's the other problem with.
I had to do the math for just 1 day.
It's like your brain went.
24 hours.
No. Okay, so here's another problem with the personal training model, the old model, the classic model. We are taught to train bodies and not people. And I think this is changing, so that's the good news. I think a lot of personal training schools or like people in kinesiology or exercise science are starting to learn more about psychology and mindset and behavioral change. But a lot of people, especially if they've just done a very basic personal training certification, you also have to look at, the education of the person, don't have much concept, or at least they don't put it together. We don't work with bodies, we work with people. So you can have the perfect program design and very complex way to train the person. And I know this is going to work because A plus B equals C, whatever. But when you try to implement it in real life, it just doesn't work. Because life happens. You're working with moms that have kids that get sick. You're working with people that lose motivation. You're working with people that are under stress. You're working with people that need to travel. I mean, it's not realistic. And plus, it's not just, this is applied to a body that's healthy and capable. And then what are you doing if you're working with someone who's dealing with pain or dealing with too much stress in the system? I mean, they won't respond the same to different exercises. Or the same program won't work for everyone. So it's really important to understand that we're working with people, so we need to be really much in tune with what is this person going through, what's going on outside of the gym, what's their health state, how do they sleep, how do they fuel their bodies,
What have they been doing, how they've been living.
Yeah, what's their relationship with exercise? Maybe like the person is, anxious just to go to the gym because it's just always been like a stressor for that person. So we need to consider all these aspects. And so through our experience, we just learned that it's not enough just to try to like change a person's body without considering what's happening above here in their head, how they feel, their emotions, but also how their brain works. And we're going to get into this a little later. All right, so that's another problem with the personal training model, the classic one. All right.
Good class.
The other problem, and we've gone through this, is that as personal trainers and health professionals in general, we are taught to tell people what to do. And the problem with this is that it works to a certain point, but it's very limited. And one of our biggest core values here at Rise is ownership. We want to give back our clients the power of their own health. We want you guys to take responsibility for your own health, and therefore we need to add an educational component to this. You need to understand the why and the how of why you're doing certain things so you can implement it to your life and you can adjust it based on what's happening in your life. So it becomes a sustainable process.
Yeah, it's having that. You're not going to feel helpless if we go away or we move somewhere. You're going to be okay. Whether you live here or you move somewhere.
You'll have tools, you understand what you're doing, you'll be able to work out on your own. Or eventually we're hoping that some of our clients learn so much that eventually they don't need a trainer anymore. I mean, this has to become something that you learn. It's like, think of it of an investment, right? If you invest, everyone is super okay with the whole idea of investing in schooling, right? They go to college, they learn about finances, they learn about administration, and then they go out in the world and work. And it's the same thing with your health and fitness. You need to learn about your body. Nobody really teaches us that in school. You need to learn about what your body needs in terms of fuel, how you should exercise, how you sleep, human physiology, biology, basic things, right? We cover those basic things with clients. We simplify it. We go step by step. We help you understand your own body. It's like reconnecting with yourself so you understand what you really need and why certain things are happening. If you don't understand it, you don't comprehend it, you will lack certainty, and then a lack of certainty and understanding will really affect your consistency through this process.
Yeah, your commitment.
Yeah, because it's just there's so much limitation as far as why am I doing this? Is it really working? I'm not so sure what I'm doing is right. I don't know if it's good for me. If you don't do that little extra research to understand, or if you don't have someone who's teaching you this, how are you going to stick to this process? Yeah. Right? So there's a big component to when we work with people, well, at least in our practice, while we're stepping out of the personal training classic model, is to educate our clients, to teach them like why we're doing certain things and why it's important and how can they tweak it and what variation can they do as opposed to this and that, depending on how they feel that day.
Yeah. What to look for to make adjustments.
Yeah.
Figure out, it's not just black and white. You're gonna have to try different things, and there's different contexts. Maybe you're in a stressful state at this point in time, and then another point in time you're not in a stressful state. So the food that you eat will affect you differently, or how you sleep, or how you recover, how you train.
Yeah, it's not a steady model, so you need to understand those things so you can adapt and adjust as you go. And also getting out of the whole guilt and shame mode, because that's very common in the health and fitness world. We're going to talk about that soon, but yeah, that it's a very common thing. Okay, so and one of the other point I wanted to cover with the personal training model is exercise is often not really adapted, right? Now we've seen in school, we've learned like how you can work someone through a squat, right? Like, so a basic squat with no barbell, like, you know, building them up. And so that's one way to adjust exercises to a person's level, but there's so many other ways. And now with the newest science, especially in neurology, when we start incorporating the role of the brain into movement, we can actually assess and see what you're doing. Is it harming you, or is it actually helping you? Is it good for you or not? Because there's so many exercises that, while squats are amazing, maybe someone right now should not be doing squats, or should be doing more unilateral type of training, or should be doing more complex movement, because that's what their brain needs right now as a stimulus, which is going to help rebalance deficiencies in the system. So, and also adapting to, how's your metabolism right now? Are you under stress? Like, what's your health level? Do you need to do less exercise, more working in type of exercise, more lighter type of stress on your body, so you can actually build yourself, feel good because you're moving, but not overtraining yourself based on your health state and where you are right now in your life. So it's actually building you and not destroying you, right? So that's really important, to be able to adapt exercise. And then unfortunately, just the regular personal training model does not allow for this, unless amazing coaches and trainers go out there and learn about this and start implementing this into their practice. So just really important to look for that. If you're looking for a trainer, someone to work with, make sure they can adapt, they continue learning, they got all these tools in their box so they can adjust based on what you need at that moment, and they listen, right? Because if you come into a session and you're exhausted and you're tired and just had a long day, and your trainer says, it's okay, keep pushing through, and you're gonna get through this. It's just this whole motto of no pain, no gain is never got anyone anywhere. Temporarily it might get you all pumped up and everything, but it's not a sustainable way of training, and it's actually
we love our pump here.
it's very catabolic and destructive. So so with that being said, I wanted to get into we wanted to talk a little bit more about the approach and the mentality behind the whole health and fitness industry, and why we want to take a very different approach to it when it comes to the mindset and the mentality behind it. Because what we see a lot, and what we've seen a lot, and thankfully it's changing, and we've seen a lot of people really taking a different route with this, is that the whole idea of destructing your body, literally, because a lot of times it's not said this way, but it's like burning fat, burning calories, sweating, cutting out calories, dieting, losing weight. It's such a negative approach to health and fitness, and people wonder why they have a hard time sticking to any kind of health and fitness program. Well, who wants to do something that's so negative? Like, your brain,
torture.
Your subconscious is like, you're gonna put me through a torture, and you want me to stick to this and then make this a habit? Are you freaking crazy? And so, that stuff will work if you use willpower, if you keep pushing through, if you're constantly going, but you're gonna constantly face resistance, and then you're gonna wonder, why is it so hard to just keep up with that? We need to start building a strong, positive approach to health and fitness, and I think that's so important. So, and this is why we use a different language here with our members. Okay.
Spanish.
So we talk about
cardio.
You can no cardio.
Spanish. I don't know Spanish. Cardio.
I don't know. I have no clue.
What?
I don't speak Spanish.
Well, cardio, and when people, they don't know Spanish, but they'll just pretend, they'll say everything in O. They'll end with O.
Oh, please.
So cardio, no español, no cardio.
I'm sure Jen can speak Spanish. Well, maybe. So anyways, So how about we bring more of a positive approach to health and fitness, right? So when we talk to people, it's like, how can we help you build your body, right? Let's build your body the way you want it to feel strong, to move better, to feel good, to build confidence.
How do you do that?
Ooh, that's the fun part. All right, hold on. Let me finish because
Okay.
I'm on a roll. And then how do you fuel your body also, right? So as opposed to dieting, and of course we don't believe in dieting, and that's something that if you've been following us, you know, but if you don't, now you know. It's about fueling your body. It's giving your body and your mind what it needs in order to thrive. So let's get out of this survival mode and pushing through, and then no pain, no gain, and just kind of like, it's a very, and it works at times. It gets you motivated, but you can't stay in that state constantly. It's almost like sticking with a stress mode constantly. It's not sustainable, right? You need to get out of this and start really building your body and listening to yourself, reconnect with yourself. What do I really need right now? What is going to give me the most, the best bang for my bucks? Can I say buck?
You can say whatever you want.
I'm so bad with expressions.
No, that was right.
Yeah, I got it right.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know if it's.
But yeah, no. But basically, what I was saying is like right now, for example, if you're going to the gym and you're not feeling so great, is it better that you're doing a lighter workout and you focus on eating better food throughout the day and maybe take an Epsom salt bath and go to bed early today? Because really, that's going to help you build your body better and get out of stress faster, as if you go all in and you push yourself even though you're tired and you're in pain and all of this, and that's only going to harm you and cause more stress in your system, and therefore take longer to get out of this.
Which is a huge thing we want to show people, that having that awareness, how to get in tune with your body, so when those moments and those days happen, you know what to do, and then you're better for it because you make an adjustment, and then long term, sustainable, you'll see more and better results than pushing through, going hard all the time, and then burning out, and then not being able to continue, and then
that's not
you won't see any progress there.
Yeah. So, and it also kind of pulls the guilt and the shame out of the equation, right? Because a lot of people feel guilty. Oh, I missed a workout. Well, hold on. Let's reframe this. What do you really need right now? Do you need to take a nap, or do you need to go work out? And if you feel like you can work out and you can actually handle it because you're fueled and you had good sleep last night, what kind of workout does your body need right now? And then as you start moving, you'll feel it. You have like an increase in energy. You might want to do like your regular workout, or you might just be like, you know what, I'll just take it lightly today. I'll do 2 rounds instead of 4, and that's totally fine. So listening to your body, like he said, so you're always adjusting, adapting to what your body needs, and you're constantly helping yourself and not just destroying yourself. So that's a very important concept, I think, that we want to bring to light, because there's so many unhealthy, negative concepts out there when it comes to the health and fitness, and we understand why people are intimidated or also being pushed away by the whole idea of going to the gym or working with a trainer or like, working out all in itself, because it's such a, an aggressive sometimes mentality. So, yeah. All right. So that's something else we want to talk about. So really, where we were getting to is that we wanted to talk about why what we do is more than personal training, and this is the last point today, and what it includes and why we're doing what we're doing, the way we're doing it. Okay, so obviously when people work with us, whether it's in a one-on-one setup or in a small group, semi-private, it's the same experience, it's just done a little differently, but people will come in and have sessions with us, right? So the sessions are still there. You see, we start using that model of personal training, of having a session 1, 2, or 3 times a week whatsoever, based on the person's need, but it's so much more than that. Now, when you come in and work with us, we will pay attention, right? We pay attention to how you feel today, what you need, and all of our programs and the way we move through space and how we assess you are also based on, what your body needs at the moment.
Oh shit, you pay attention?
Yeah.
I'm on my phone.
Oh shoot.
I knew I was doing something wrong, man.
And then, so that's the sessions itself, but it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there because we know
Don't stop till you get enough.
we've seen so much more results when people are doing the work outside the gym, right? So we work with our clients with nutrition. Oh my gosh. For most people, especially in the beginning, even if they didn't start training yet, if we just worked on the nutrition, it's about 60 to 80% of the results. Literally. It doesn't matter whether you're trying to lose weight, build energy, reduce your digestive distress, reduce stress, sleep better. Nutrition has such a huge impact on your health. Because that's how you fuel your body. That's how you produce energy. That's how you control your the chemical processes. Your metabolism is all dictated by what you put in. So, fueling your body is giving back energy to your system so you can use it. So it's just the biggest component.
Yeah, I would say it's due to the stress from whatever stressor it is, emotional, physical, nutritional. So when even though if you're not moving, exercising, training with weights, that's a stressor. So if you add in food that you weren't currently eating, or you're more aware, you're eating better, you're putting good food in your body, that lessens the stress, which is going to lessen the stress overall in your body and your mind, which will, as we know, some places it accumulates fat or due to stress. That's a broad generalization, but you're removing that stress, therefore your body can heal slowly and remove the fat that it doesn't need.
Now remember, what we're trying to do here is reduce the stress in the system, because most people nowadays, this is 99% of people, are under too much stress. And being under stress is catabolic and basically breaks down your body, breaks down your mind, breaks down everything. If you don't get out of stress state, because if you're constantly running under stress, you're just breaking yourself down. If you're trying to go to the gym to build your body and change and improve your health, and you stay under stress, it's not going to do it, because stress is the precursor of all disease. Literally.
Yeah.
So let's take that in consideration when it comes to your health. The first thing we do here is to reduce the stress in the system.
And when we say stress, it's not just
mental stress.
Yeah, it's not something you always necessarily feel. Like it's not like
that's
pressure or it's
a lot of people don't feel it. They're running under stress. That's really what we're trying to say.
Stress could be the relationship, the under eating, under nourishing,
lack of sleep.
Yeah, lack of sleep, too much running around without caring for yourself or
the way
your
you
thoughts.
Think.
Yeah. So removing some stressors and adding in which food will give you, like we said.
Well, and the number one reason, not the number one reason, but the biggest thing about nutrition, that it helps you manage your stress levels, because it helps you regulate your blood sugar, right? Because one of the biggest stressful event for your body is to literally regulate your blood sugar. It is so stressful and important that if your blood sugar drops, or it causes a stress response right away. So the first thing we teach our client with nutrition is how to regulate their blood sugar, because if you can do this by itself, start regulating your internal biology, you can reduce your stress tremendously, because people don't understand. They think stress comes from outside. Yes, there's outside stress, relationships, work, demands, responsibilities. These are all real stressors, and they do affect your health and the way you think, the way you eat food and everything. But people forget about their internal biology. Like, you have so much stress going on inside of your body, and so then these are things we have control over. The way you eat can make such a huge impact on how you reduce stress in your body and how you heal and how you feel. We all been through this, right? You go through a full day, you skip breakfast, you skip lunch or whatever, you just skip hours without eating, and then you snap at your coworker or at someone or at your family member, and you wonder why this happened. I mean, when you're starving, everyone knows you're not someone you want to be around. It's like nobody, whoops, blacked out.
Technical difficulties.
So nobody wants to be around a hungry person.
Hungry hippo.
So, and that's low blood sugar right there. That's a stress response, because when you're under stress, you're not yourself per se. You're in survival mode.
Betty White.
So it's really important. That's why nutrition is so important, so basic. And what we do here is we work on your foundation, right? Nutrition, how we're gonna build your body, fuel yourself with nutrition, regulate blood sugar, help the processes in the body so the body can do its job at healing and functioning, producing energy efficiently, digesting food efficiently, and give you the building tools that you need in order to build your body in the gym. So nutrition is such a big thing. It's such a big piece of it.
I like thinking about how most of the way people view health and fitness is they have an outside-in approach, where you need to have an inside-out approach. So
I like that.
Yeah, you gotta love yourself. You know, want to develop your mind, your body, take care of the inside first, the foundation, and then gives you the tools you need to let your body kind of become from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Yeah.
Beautiful. So nutrition is a big part of what we do, and not only we apply it, but we don't just give our clients meal plans and one-size-fits-all programs. We teach them about nutrition. What are proteins, fats, and carbs? How should you eat them? And we answer their questions. You know, it's an educational process. It's a what's funny?
It's like, and then we answer their questions.
We ignore them because well, obviously, but questions outside of the gym too. Okay, we help them build better habits. We talk about how you can set up yourself for success. That's something we talk about a lot. How you organize your time. Are there any things in your life right now that are not serving you? We help people getting perspective, you know, journaling, meditating, doing those things that will help you do more self-discovery, so you really ultimately discover your greater why you're doing this, why your health is important to you. You find more clarity, and it becomes easier for you to go to the gym because you know why it's important to you. You know why you're doing this. And so the mindset component and the mindfulness component, right? It's kind of all tied into each other. Building better habits. Okay, so we talk about sleep. We talk about moving outside the gym too. You know, what happens outside the gym. How do you prepare your food? I mean, like, do you get enough sunlight? There's so many things that you can do that are supplemental. They're part of this whole equation. We call it the big pie, right? A person's life has different portions, and we need to not ignore any of those portions and see what needs to be addressed and what needs a little bit of TLC and a little bit of work. And ultimately, any of those areas influences every other area. And that's why exercise is just one portion of that pie. Movement, right?
Yeah.
But if you start moving, I'm sure all of you have experienced that when you start moving and you haven't done it in a while, you feel so much better. It makes you want to eat better, and then you sleep better. So everything is connected. And that's why it's important to talk about these other things. And sometimes with people, we don't necessarily start with exercise directly, but it's often an easy way to start because that's what people are used to. That's what people are comfortable with.
Sometimes it gives them that
the little push
to get started
and then
in other areas.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they're familiar with this, and that's totally okay because it reduces the stress, right? Because sometimes starting with something you really have no idea how it's going to go could be very stressful, so we understand that. We give our clients guidance outside the gym. They have access to it, you know, through emails and a Facebook group. We have a private Facebook community that we use for our clients, so they constantly can ask questions, post recipes, post their wins, share their struggles, and there's a whole community of people that are there, have been there. There's us. We help our clients. We do live community events too, in person. We had a cooking session last month. It was so much fun. And then we're going to do essential oils this month. So if you're in Pittsburgh, come to our workshop in December. That'll be super fun. Just complimentary stuff to get together to bond, because we know how community is so important. Your environment. You are the equation of the 5 people you hang out the most with. So if those people are not supportive of what you're trying to do, they're not healthy or active, and they're pulling you down, you might need to start recreating your environment a little bit and start hanging out around people that are actually doing that. And so, because you're not going to change otherwise, your environment is such a big part of who you are.
Yeah.
So we talk about these things. We have Q&A calls, we have live videos, we do all kinds of stuff with our clients.
Twister, tag, bubble baths. All the fun stuff on Friday nights.
And we actually have a actual physical platform for education, so people can go on there and learn. Like, you know, we have lessons on nutrition, and some people are just more visual. They like to read, or, you know, things like that. So we try to offer as many tools and options as possible so our clients can learn. You know, they can, because everyone learns in different ways at their own pace, so they can, you know, make this process like working for them, basically.
Yeah, and see the importance and have the awareness now to understand that you can't just change your body, you need to change the inside, your mind, your thoughts, your rituals, your habits,
Yeah.
your, you know, what do you value, why is this important?
That's real change, guys. Because really what we do is, people call us personal trainers, but we're, you know, as you know now, it's more than personal training what we're doing. We don't really like to use that anymore. Health and fitness coaching, call it whatever you want, but really we help people going through change. People come to us because what they're doing is not working. You know, they're not happy. Like, you know, it's either physically unhappy or health-wise, or they lack confidence, energy, they're not feeling good, they're in pain. Something needs to change. And change is the hardest thing to do. So we need to, you know, we need to talk, you know, we need to give people the environment, the tools, and we need to guide them through this process. And ultimately it has to be their own process. We can't tell them what to do. We're just going to give them options. We're going to guide them. We're going to support them. But it has to become your own personal responsibility to do that, because this is your health. So we need to empower you to find what works for you, what keeps you going. Because you're not always going to have someone, although we do believe in coaching and mentorship, because we do it for ourselves. We have coaches for ourselves, and we strongly believe that, you know, health and fitness, it's not something, you know, you're born with the knowledge and you know how to do it. You gotta hire someone to help you, and that's totally okay. You know, we hire people to help us with marketing, with business coaching, with mindset. We get coaches for everything. Some of you go get therapists, doctors, you know, whatever. We always hire people, we outsource, because we can't be everything. You know, we can't know everything. So it's only okay to work with someone, and that will help you. So yeah, that was pretty much it for us. There's a lot of content. I hope this was helpful. We wanted to, and then hopefully this will help you if you're looking to work with someone and you don't really know where to start. You know, maybe ask some of those questions. You know, what's their approach? How do they work with people? Do you get guidance outside of the gym? You know, do they cover some things on nutrition? I mean, you know, feel free to contact us. Message us personally. We'll be super happy to respond to you. And if you're interested in working with us and you're in the Pittsburgh area, you want to come see us, we have an amazing program right now just for women. It's semi-private and it's small groups, and this encompasses all the things that we talked about with the program. So it's much more than the sessions 3 times a week. The sessions are only 30 minutes, so you're in and out the gym. It's perfect for busy moms, busy career women. They love it because it's, you know, it's efficient with their time, they're learning, it's at their own pace, and it's like little things, it really adds up, right? It makes a big difference. And then we're building this amazing community of support for them, so they really love it. And also we have the one-on-one coaching, obviously, that we do for people that prefer the one-on-one approach, or they have a little bit more like, you know, serious health things that we need to work on, pain management, things like this, and or our program for men that we're going to start announcing very shortly. So yeah, so, you know, reach out if you need something, if you have questions, post underneath the comment, message us personally, email us, whatever works for you, riseconsciousfitness@gmail.com. And
now we're gonna get like millions of emails.
oh no. No, that's awesome. So if you guys need anything, or if you'd like for us to talk about something, let us know. We'd love to help you out. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
All set. So you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.